All right, everybody, the best season is back. Baseball season is here, and with baseball season comes my baseball predictions. I really thought about these long and hard. I actually, from yesterday to today, I completely changed what I think about everything. Good talk with some brothers, some friends over some drinks. Everything got shook up. Here we go. I'm going to start in the National League, and since I'm from the West Coast, we're the home team, I'm going to do them last. Starting on the East, which I think is the easiest division to predict, bottom to top, Philadelphia Phillies and New York Mets, they just don't have enough right now. So 5 Phillies, 4 Mets, 3 Atlanta Braves. They got a whole new outfield. We got to see if things can work out there. They don't have the pitching staff that they typically have, except for Craig Kimbrell, of course. Miami Marlins, I have them coming in second place. I like what they did in the offseason. Go get some veteran guys, Ichiro Suzuki, Michael Morse, Martin Prado. Very good pickups to go with the young stunners and the speed of D. Gordon. Number 1, of course, Washington Nationals, the best pitching staff in baseball. It's hard to deny such a thing. When you pick up Max Scherzer and you put a guy like Tyler Roark into the bullpen, gnarly. All right, in the Central, this was the one I had the most trouble with because it's a tough division. Every team in there is pretty strong. I shook them up this morning, and here's what I pulled out of my hat. Last place, Chicago Cubs. Look, I'm buying into what they're doing. They have a strong future, but they're a season or two away. They don't have a bullpen right now to compete with the rest of that division. Cincinnati coming in 4th. They do have a bullpen, but their starting rotation is pretty weak. Their offense is good. Defensively, they're kind of in the middle. I moved the Brewers from last place into 3rd place overnight. Len Perez, you get a shout out for that one because offensively and defensively, this team is good. They have outfield depth. They've got strong infield. I love the Scooter Gennett and Gene Segura double play combination. Jonathan Lucroy is one of the top catchers in baseball. They have a decent bullpen, but I think their pitching staff is what's going to really hurt them. They don't have a guy that can go heads up with anybody else in the league. Number 2, Pittsburgh Pirates. They didn't really do much in the offseason. They brought A.J. Burnett back, and to me the biggest thing they did was they got Francisco Cervelli. As a former Yankee, I'm a huge Cervelli fan. He's going to help this pitching staff. Plus, he's got a little thunder in his bat. He's exciting, and Pittsburgh's going to love this guy. Number 1, St. Louis Cardinals. Look, top to bottom, they're very well-rounded. They're a deep team. They probably have, besides the Washington Nationals, one of the best 1, 2, 3 guys with Wainwright, Lynn, Waka. I love them. Their biggest pickups, of course, Jason Hayward is big in the outfield. But for me, Jordan Walden in the back of that bullpen to help Trevor Rosenthal is going to be huge for that team. In the West, out West, look at the Diamondbacks. I had them last. They picked up the Cuban sensation, Tomas, but their best pickups were in the office. Dave Stewart and Tony La Russa. So they're in 5th. I got the Rockies in 4th. They're one of those teams that offensively is just outstanding, but when you don't have anybody to pitch, you're not going to win ball games, okay? San Diego Padres made a lot of great moves. I'm really happy with what they did. I'm going to be rooting for them this season, but I have them 3rd place, mainly because I don't know how it's all going to work out. Yeah, they have a great outfield, but their infield isn't nearly as strong as their outfield is. 3 guys aren't going to make a team win a playoff game. So pitching staff is pretty good. Bullpen is decent. So 3. Number 2, San Francisco Giants, returning World Series champions. Look, they're an even year champion. 2010, 2012, 2014. We're in 2015, and I'm sorry, they're not going to win the division because the LA Dodgers will. They're a strong team, great pitching. Clayton Kershaw, of course, will beat anybody any day. Jock Peterson out in center field, taking over from Matt Kemp, is huge. They got a little bit of a youth movement there, and they're going to be exciting to watch. So Dodgers, Cardinals, and Nationals I have as winning their divisions. How about the wild cards? Wild cards, I got Miami Marlins and the Pittsburgh Pirates. All right. In the American League, I'm going to go west to east now. In the West, Houston Astros, number 5. They're going to be a team that's going to hit a lot of home runs. They're going to probably be in the top 5 in the MLB in home runs, but they also don't have pitching to get them anywhere. So 5th place in a tough West. Texas Rangers, number 4. Look, their only star pitcher, Yu Darvish, is out for the season. They're getting Prince Fielder back. They're going to score more runs, but they're not going to win the division. Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Of course, they have the best player in baseball with Mike Trout. Albert Pujols was that guy. They've got good pitching. I like a lot of their pitchers, but you know, the A's and the Mariners are better than the Angels this year, and I have the A's coming in second place, at least for the regular season. The A's are second place because they're going to start off with a lot of injuries, guys coming back from injury, but they've got moving pieces. A guy like Stephen Vogt's going to be valuable for this team. He's going to start at catcher. He can play first. He can play outfield. He can DH. I believe in Stephen Vogt and his referee get-up. But the Seattle Mariners did enough for me to win the division. They've got young pitchers, Taijuan Walker and Paxton. These guys are going to dominate. They're going to combine for 30 wins this year to help Felix and Iwakuma. And a very strong, hard-throwing bullpen. You get the best right-handed bat in the offseason with Nelson Cruz to come help Robinson Cano, and there's trouble, okay? So there you go. There's the West. In the Central, bottom to top, Minnesota Twins. Look, I'm glad Torrey Hunter went back there to finish his career, and he's going to help some of these young outfielders get better. 2-3 years from now, maybe Minnesota will compete, but not this year. The Cleveland Indians, look, I'm not buying into them the way Sports Illustrated is. I've been watching them this spring. They've got a good farm system, so next year, the year after, again, they're a team that will compete, but not for me, not this season. Michael Brantley and Corey Kluber, they're not going to do it themselves. Brandon Moss is a big hitter, but he's not going to bring them to that next level. I got the Chicago White Sox. Yesterday, I had the Chicago White Sox in the World Series. Today, I have them third in the AL Central. Okay, I looked things over again. They've got, you know, some players. The Melky Cabrera, Adam LaRoche pickup were huge. Samardzija Robertson, huge. But unless Carlos Rodon comes in quickly and helps the pitching staff, I don't see them beating up these other teams. Defensively, they're average. They're decent, but three guys in the lineup aren't going to win you a division either. A team like the Detroit Tigers, I have coming in second place. They're one of the scariest lineups, top to bottom. They did lose Scherzer, but they still have Price. We got to see if Verlander comes back healthy. The bottom of that staff with Alfredo Simon and Green, we got to see if they can compete for a full season in Detroit. But their bullpen is what's going to kill them. Speaking of bullpen, Kansas City Royals are going to win the division because of the bullpen that they have, the defense that they play. They're an exciting team. We all saw this last season. Very exciting team. They didn't lose much. They lost Billy Butler and Aoki, but they filled in Kendrys Morales and Alex Rios, and that's going to be big. Shield was a big loss for them, but they've got a lot of strong arms. On the AL East, look, I had a big debate with my friends and my brothers last night about the East. They're huge on the Toronto Blue Jays. I've got the Blue Jays coming in last place in the East. Yeah, they got Josh Donaldson, and yeah, they got three thumpers in the lineup with Batista, Encarnacion, and Donaldson now. Russell Martin's going to help the pitching staff. But when your guys are R.A. Dickey and Mark Burley, that's not going to do you good. Hutchinson's good. I like Daniel Norris, young pitchers, but they're going to be held back, man. They don't have as much as everybody thinks they do. Jose Reyes is good, but I don't see them doing much damage. Baltimore Orioles, another team everybody's hyped up on. I got them fourth because I don't care for their pitching staff. They did lose Nelson Cruz. They did lose Nick Markakis. They're going to get Wieters and Machado back from injuries. And there's a lot of unknowns there. And, Chris Davis, Crush Davis also is another one. I just don't see them competing with the other teams in the division as well as everybody else does. I got Boston Red Sox in third. They have better pitching than people give them credit for. I don't think their bullpen's as good as their starting rotation. And yeah, they got guys that can hit the ball out of the stadium. Defensively, they'll be average. They're young guys, the Mookie Betts and the Bogarts. Those guys are going to be the ones to watch out for, not the Pablo and the Hanley and the Poppy. Pedroia is a guy I love. He's one guy I will root for in Boston. It's obviously hard for me to root for Boston, though. Number 2 in the division, Tampa Bay Rays. They're young. They're exciting. They have one of my favorite players in baseball right now out in center field, starting in center field. Kevin Kiermaier. I'm sorry, I could not think of his name for a second there. Hustle player. He's a Pete Rose type, go-get-it kind of player. I think he was a 30th round pick, and he fought his way up, and now he's a starter, and he's a stud. Their pitching staff is young. They got a lot of good arms. and a bullpen that I believe in. Speaking of bullpen again, New York Yankees, man, they bolstered that bullpen 100%. They have a starting pitching rotation that, look, if they're all healthy, of course, health is always the question. But when you see Tanaka and Sabathia and Pineda and Eovaldi, these guys are going to kill, man. These guys are going to crush. As long as they are healthy, they have a lineup opening day that can win a division, and that's what I see them doing. So Yankees in the East, Royals in the Central, Mariners out West, and wild cards, I'm going to take the Detroit Tigers because they're too strong offensively to deny, and the Oakland A's because they've got too many pieces, too many arms, too exciting of a team, and a great manager. Okay, there's the X factor is a manager. Okay, so playoffs. I'll go back to the National League first and tell you what's going to happen out there. Wild card teams, I got Miami taking over Pittsburgh. They're going to be an exciting team, Miami, but they're going to get crushed by St. Louis in the next round. Washington and LA are going to knock each other out, basically. So when Washington beats LA to get to St. Louis, they're not going to have anything left. St. Louis Cardinals, National League champions. But who are they going to play? Well, Detroit versus Oakland in the wild card, and Oakland's going to beat them because they have the pitching, they have the bullpen, and they have the defense. Oakland beats Detroit in the wild card. Seattle versus Kansas City. I've got Seattle beating Kansas City because they're very strong power arms, power bats. New York versus Oakland. This is where the age of New York is really going to come to hurt them. They're going to tire out. They're going to wear out. Whereas the guys in Oakland are never going to stop. Oakland versus Seattle for the American League Championship. Hey, I got a little West Coast bias in me. Screw it, And I'm going with Oakland. I never pick Oakland or San Francisco. This year I got Oakland going to the World Series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Unfortunately, my A's fans out there, I think the Cardinals are a team that matches up really well with Oakland. And I see St. Louis winning the World Series. You're welcome, Scott Dermer. Now for awards. In the National League, Rookie of the Year, I think Jock Peterson's a given. He's going to get that playing time that Chris Bryant's not going to get right away. Left-handed bat, he's going to see more righties. He's going to have an advantage. But Chris Bryant is one of the guys he's going to compete with, along with Christian Betancourt in Atlanta. A couple guys who came over playing professionally elsewhere. Yasmani Tomas and Jung Ho Kang. I don't think they should win, but I'm going with Peterson. Cy Young, look, I had Lance Lynn winning, but I gave it to Scherzer because the team is really strong. He's going to have good matchups. Cashner from San Diego, Garrett Cole from Pittsburgh are other guys that I have up in the running, but I'm going with Scherzer. MVP, the reason I couldn't give Lance Lynn the Cy Young is because I got Yadier Molina winning the MVP, and I can't give St. Louis that much love this season. I'm not a Cardinals fan, believe me. But Yadier Molina is going to get his time to win the MVP, with Anthony Rizzo, Troy Tulowitzki, Buster Posey right behind him in the voting. American League Awards, Rookie of the Year, Mookie Betts out in Boston. Daniel Norris in Toronto is his only competition. I can go either way there. Cy Young, Chris Sale. Hey, the lefty's nuts. He's going to start the season on the DL. Hopefully he's not going to put him out too long, or else I'll have to switch over to my homeboy Tanaka. King Felix is a given as somebody that should be up there. And Yordani Ventura, I like his fastball enough to put him in the Cy Young race. MVP, Robinson Cano, man. I miss him still, but he's going to win the MVP with the protection of Nelson Cruz this season. Jose Abreu, Eric Hosmer, Prince Fielder are other guys that are going to compete. There it is. St. Louis over Oakland. I know none of you are going to agree with me, but I'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions. Hey, I already missed the captain, Derek Jeter, but I'm looking forward to a great season. Root for your team. Let's hope everybody stays healthy, and let's have a great season. Let's take the clock out of baseball. No time clock in baseball.